fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
How to find your purpose in life. Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again, Salt Strong Unchurched. We're talking about purpose. We're talking about mission, about how to discover it. This is something I struggled with forever. I still get questions and I struggle with even answering them sometimes because people say, man, I'm 40 years old, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70. I still don't know what my purpose is. Why am I put here on this life? And so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what it's not, right? Because it's something that confused me forever. And I want to kick it off by saying one thing. God does not make mistakes. God does not make mistakes. If you listen to the last episode, we talked about how there literally has to be a creator. There has to be something that got involved to make all this happen, to make human beings, to make me and you. So if we believe there's a higher power, let's for the exercise here, let's call him God. Let's say there is a God who doesn't make mistakes and created you. If you're listening to this, that means you were created. You're here for a purpose. You're here at this very moment in time for a very specific purpose. There's a reason God did not have you on this earth 100 years ago or 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. You're here at this absolute, specific second for a very specific purpose. You have a body type and you have skills and you have traits about you that are incredibly specific for this specific day and age. Think about that. And that should be exciting for us, right? That God does not make mistakes. He created every one of us individually to be unique. Even legitimate, twins, identical twins are different. If you ask any twins, they know exactly what's unique about them, what's different compared to their twin brother or sister. And for the parents and even the close friends, they can tell them apart instantaneously and know that they have different uniques and traits and even special gifts and skills. So all that being said, we all have a purpose on this earth. Some of us are super lucky, it's very few, and find it and discover it at a younger age. For most of it's in midlife or older, right? It wasn't until I was closer to 40 where I really clicked and I figured it out. So I went, the majority of my life, I'm only 43 now, not knowing what my purpose is and always scratching my head and wondering. And many people who write to me and ask questions are in their 70s, 80s, even 90s and say, I still don't know what my purpose here on this earth. And that's completely okay. Let's talk about what purpose isn't. It doesn't have to be, because this is what confused me so much. It does not have to be your full-time job or your occupation. Let me repeat that. Your purpose or your mission in life does not have to be your job or occupation. So regardless if you have a job or not, or if your job is to be the most amazing mom or dad and take care of your kids or to take care of your parents or whatever it is, it does not have to be your job or occupation. So that alone should take some pressure off, because I used to always think that, I had a job in the financial services industry and I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it because it paid well, but I knew it wasn't my purpose. And I used to start, getting into some of these books about discovering your purpose. And a lot of it was based on the job, and it put a lot of pressure on me to think, well, gosh, I spend all this time at my job, which is true, and like a lot of us do, and then I know that it's not my purpose here on this earth, and it started creating friction. And for me, I was one of the lucky ones, because I do now today get to tie in my purpose with my job, my occupation. But for the majority of people, the vast majority of people, that's not going to be the case, and that's 100% okay. It was true of my parents and even my grandparents, who are incredible. I mean, some of the most fulfilled people I know. And yet their job had nothing to do with their purpose and their mission in life. And when I'm talking about purpose and mission, we're going to talk about it in a second. I'm talking about like writing the sucker down. I mean, I published it in my book, Fishing for Happiness, and it's something that I still look at today. And it's something that I still live by, and I still make my decisions by it. And when I have bad days, we all do, it makes it a whole lot easier when I can go there and say, you know what, this is my purpose on this earth. This is what I live for. This is what gets me excited. If you're familiar with my book, Fishing for Happiness, I talk about the ikigai, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That is a term for what do you live for? What gets you excited? What is your purpose and your mission in life? And that is from a civilization there, a city in Japan that has the highest life expectancy in the entire world by a long margin. Like they're outliving everyone by 10 to even 20 years in some cases on average. So clearly they are doing something right. And they have this term that they all kind of live by. It's kind of their guiding light, their North Star is their ikigai. And you got to figure out what gets you excited. So let me just start off by having you think about this, because this is the best way to discover your purpose, right? You got to start somewhere. You can't just hope and pray it's going to hit you in the head. A lot of it comes from doing a little work and writing the things down. Number one, what comes easy for you? What comes easy for you? And a lot of people, this is where you start beating yourself up. Don't do that. There is something compared to your friends or even just the people in your household that comes easy to you. It could be anything from reading a book fast to catching a fish fast. Some people like my brother Luke are just absolutely gifted, and fishing comes so easy to him. He clearly needs to be a fishing teacher, which he's excelling at today. Right. For my daughter, it's art and just studying animals. She's got a gift. My daughter, Shauna, and we take her to a public library and she's just, all she wants to do is read about animals. It comes so easy to her and she absolutely loves it. I'm willing to bet, I'm not going to put words into her mouth or thoughts in her mouth, but I'm willing to bet she'll probably, hopefully, find her purpose has something to do with animals and or nature. It comes so easy to her. It's like almost freakish how easy it comes to her. That doesn't mean she's the best in the world. There's clearly people who probably know a whole lot more and have studied more, and it might even come easier to her. But in terms of just something that comes easier, once again, don't beat yourself up if you're not the best in the world. My brother doesn't have to be the best fisherman in the world, but it's something that comes easy to him. I guarantee there's something that comes easy to you, and you might not even know it. But if you really spend some time thinking about it, there's something that your friends or your coworkers or your community, your people in your church, your spouse, your kids, your parents have said, wow, like this just comes easy to you, or you're so good at this. I mean, what did you excel in, or what got you excited as a kid or a teenager? This is kind of step two. And looking back for me, just so you can understand where I came from, looking back at my life as a kid and a teenager, the thing that always came easy to me was making people laugh, putting a smile on people's faces. Yes, if you can believe it, I was a little bit of a class clown. I wasn't the one getting like expelled from school, like super prankster, but I was always just, cutting up little jokes and making people laugh, super quick to come up with something that could turn, maybe a nasty situation or people getting a little bit heated into something where all of a sudden we're laughing about it. It came easy to me. It was second nature, and I didn't get it. People were like, man, how did you come up with that joke so fast? Or like, where did you come up with that? And then a lot of it just, I don't know. It just popped in my head. It came easy to me. And now, going forward, I mean, part of my mission, and once again, I have both a company one and a personal one. That's me personally. Don't convolute the two. You do not have to have both, but both of them revolve around creating happiness, right? Uniting people through fishing and creating memories that matter out in the water on the Salt Strong side. And on the personal side, it always goes back to just creating happiness for people, making people smile. And when I do pass away, this is kind of step number 3. So what comes easy for you? Right? Start writing that kind of stuff down. What did you excel at, or what got you excited as a kid or teenager? Go back to those earlier years and then think, I know this sounds grim and negative to some people, but this is incredibly powerful. is start thinking about what people are going to say when you do die. We are going to die. I know once again, not everyone likes to talk about it. I don't like to talk about it, but at the same point, I'd like to envision when I do die that people are going to say, man, Joe brought so many smiles and so much laughter to countless people. I want to have, I'd love to have millions of people that say that. And because I've figured out that that was something that I was good at. Once again, and I'm not the best in the world. I'm not a comedian. I'm not Mr. Stand-up guy who's doing this for a living. But because that was something that came easy to me, just making people smile and being funny and witty and entertaining. I thought I wanted to be an entertainer, right? So go back to what you thought you wanted to be as a kid. And there's no right or wrong answer. I literally thought I wanted to be an entertainer. I remember when I first started watching Jim Carrey, I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be a movie star and make people laugh. And it turns out now I get to do that, right? It's on a different stage. It's on YouTube and it's on this, podcast, and it's on the Salt Strong platform. But that's what I get to do. I'm kind of the class clown there, if you will, right? I mean, I do catch some fish, but I'm also kind of known as the funny guy. The guy bring a little bit of fun, a little bit of charm, and a little bit of humor into this world of fishing, into our little ecosystem. And it's needed, right? It's not needed by all the people on our team. Everyone has a very unique skill. And once again, it's usually what comes easy to them. That is something that just always came easy to me. And I flat out enjoy it. My best days in high school, I can still think back on them, were the days when I was literally making people laugh. I had this human fly trap I created with my hands. At one point at our high school, we were in portables, which is essentially a monster outhouse in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Florida sun. And we were in these portables, meaning it's basically a portable building that's out in the middle of nowhere, why they're redoing the school and adding on to it. And I created this fly trap. I still remember, right? That was over 20 something years ago. And the entire class is just dying laughing. And it was something so simple I did with my hands. I'm literally catching flies, and even the teacher was laughing. And I mean, those memories are still important to me. And that's when I realized, like, man, I got a gift for this stuff. So go back to the days when you were a kid or a teenager, and what came easy to you. And a lot of times it's stuff that we overlook, right? Because it came so natural to me, I didn't think it was a gift, right? Because it was like, oh man, it's just what I do. It's easy. Why doesn't everyone do this? So really think long and hard about this. I just knew I wanted to make people laugh. I knew I wanted to make people smile. Like I said, I thought I wanted to be an entertainer. And I guess in many ways, I kind of am. The next part is once you get all that. So once again, what comes easy to you? What did you excel at as a kid or a teenager? What got you excited? And then going back to the grim side of things, what do you want people to say? Like, what's one or two sentences you want people to say about you on your deathbed, right? I mean, for Luke, it might be, man, he was one of the best fishermen ever. He taught me so much about fishing, right? And he lives for that stuff. He had a gift. It came so easy to him as a teenager to be able to go out there and catch bass faster than anyone I've ever seen. And for him, he just didn't get it. He's like, oh, I'm not special. It's just what I do. I don't know why you guys can't do it, right? And so many times you don't even see that gift. Then once you define what that is, start reading about it. Start watching videos about it. And there's a very specific reason why you do that. Once you start reading about it and or watching videos, if you're more into videos, all of a sudden ideas start popping into your head about things that you can do, not once again for a job, but even after hours, on the weekends, right? I mean, there's a reason people have hobbies, right? A hobby is something that you don't do full time, but it's something you do on the side. It's something that gets you excited. So once you discover what that is, start reading about it. Start diving deeper into that topic or into whatever it is. And it's amazing the different ideas that will come up, the different opportunities that will come up. Well, man, I just read about this. I didn't even know this was an opportunity. I didn't know I could go volunteer here. Let's just say I wanted to be in the stand-up comedy. I didn't even know I could go to 50,000 different places just in the South to go do stand-up comedy completely for free and meet new people. Right. There are so many different opportunities to kind of practice your ikigai, if you will, on any kind of stage possible. a really, really important one. And I overlooked that until I really started getting into reading, and I learned so much about how I could impact people. And I mean, the reading and watching videos is a reason Salt Strong, came alive. I realized, man, there's an opportunity here to teach fishing online. And that was kind of how we kicked this whole sucker off from day one. It's been our mission is to help people catch more fish online and to unite friends and family and create some smiles and create some memories. And once again, that all happened from watching videos and reading books on it. Another thing you can do if you're still struggling is to listen carefully to what other people appreciate about you, right? And it could be, man, you're always so well dressed, right? Or you're so quick to give compliments, or you're so good at this, or man, I don't understand how you do this so fast, right? How did you do this XYZ, whatever it is, so fast? Listen to what people appreciate about you, and go back to comments that people have said about you that have made an impact, right? There's usually something in there with your purpose or your mission, going back to something that someone said about you from the old days, right? It can be if you were in the military, that someone that your commander or someone said about you. It could be from college or high school or junior high or elementary school, something that people said about you or a teacher said about you. I mean, there's usually some gold in those statements of something that someone has said they appreciate about you, that they saw in you. Like for my brothers, like people told him all the time, like, man, like you're a fish whisperer. They always call him the fish whisperer. And now here he is getting to do his purpose in life. I truly believe that is his purpose in life. He knows it is. And that, man, that's so neat. What unique experiences have you been through? For me, and this ties in with my mission, was the anxiety attacks that I had for well over a decade, right? I did not want to go through those. It's not something that I signed up for, but it's something I went through, and it's something that I was able to conquer. And because of it, I know I shared my story on YouTube and through the podcast about how I overcame anxiety attacks after almost 14 years. And now, I mean, that one video has been seen by 65,000 plus people, and I get emails on it almost seems like daily now, and I'm able to help those people. And that ties in with my mission, right? That's creating more happiness, right? It's creating smiles for people because I'm able to help them get through something, and I'm able to relate to them, right? It used to frustrate me that doctors, for the most part, never had an anxiety attack, the ones I was talking to, and they were just kind of going off what they read in a book. And until you've been through that, you can't really be relatable. And I was very relatable to people going through anxiety and anxiety attacks because I dealt with it every single stinking day. So what unique experiences have you been through? It could be from having cancer and overcoming it. It could be from having twins, having triplets, right? I guarantee there's something you've been through that someone is struggling with right now. And if you could share that story, that could be a massive part of your mission statement. I know of, some women who've created that about they've lost multiple, babies and miscarriages, and have literally created, their entire mission and their purpose is just sharing that experience and how to get through it, how to overcome that, and how to not lose trust in God, and how to, make sure you have the right support from your spouse and your family, et cetera, and what to do next, right? How to make sure that you don't freak yourself out on the next one. It's something that so many of us have had to go through. And so it could be something very bad, like losing a child. It could be something very bad, from losing a spouse to cancer to anxiety attacks, whatever it is. But I guarantee there's some unique experience you have. And that might be the big, big reason God has you on this earth. Maybe that's the reason he put me through that anxiety for so many years, is so that I could share that and to help impact all the other people who are going through it. Right. And that, to me, that's exciting. Right. Because I could do the opposite. I could try to just push that away and hide it and say, oh, man, I hope no one ever finds out that I had anxiety attacks for so long. Or I can embrace it and use that unique experience to tie it into a bigger mission, a bigger purpose. And I'm telling you, every time I get a message from someone, and there's some deep stuff, and people are like, man, like I've went to countless doctors and I've been through these courses, and your video is the first time that I got it and I could relate to what exactly what you're saying. It was like I felt like you were talking to me. And I get goosebumps from that. Like, that's part of having a mission and a purpose. There's no money being exchanged there, right? This is mission and purpose is not about making money off of it. There are times when that happens, obviously, but it's more about the impact that you're making. And when it hits. Like I said, I never in a million years would have guessed that this anxiety and sharing my anxiety attack stories would have anything to do with my mission and purpose. But now it's so incredibly clear. So I want to kind of sum this up and say, you gotta trust that you do have a higher purpose, that there is a higher, there's a God, right? That there's and a higher purpose for you, and that God made you perfectly for a specific purpose. I want you to go back if you're still struggling and just think about what comes easy to you. What do people say about you when people talk about you? What do they say that you're good at, you're better at than them? Once again, you don't have to be the best in the world, just better than the other people around you. That's probably at least an open door to go down a path, if you will, to discover your purpose or your mission. And then start writing some of this stuff down. Have a vision board is another good one. I always thought that was kind of corny until I did it. The vision board, that could be cutting out things that you want to do that are important to you, that you think you're great at, and just looking at them every morning and taking action. The final piece of it, once you kind of get it, is to write it down. Write down your purpose in your mission statement, and know that it can change over time. It'll certainly change, as you age and things become more important to you, and maybe have clarity on things. But step number one is starting somewhere. Every day you don't start, even if what you're writing down is not right. You start with something to at least get the ball moving, so you can start taking action every single day. I'm telling you, told you the story earlier. I teased it. This whole Ikigai, that community in Japan outlives everyone else by far. And it's because Ikigai is at the top of their vocabulary. Retirement, that was a word that's not in their vocabulary. Isn't interesting? So they don't believe in retirement. It's because what they do, what gets them excited, doesn't have anything to do with their job, and it's something they just do forever. And so when they do, quote unquote, retire from their current job or their occupation, they continue to keep doing that thing or things that makes them unique and special. They talked about the one guy who always just loved teaching karate. I don't believe it was his full-time gig, but he always loved teaching it on the side. And when he became a certain age, he says, you know what, I'm just going to keep teaching karate when I can to whoever wants to learn. And now the dude's like 108 years old and still teaching young people karate. Can you imagine how many generations he's impacted to teach people karate? So cool. So Ikigai, what gets you excited? What do you live for? What comes easy for you? What gets you pumped up in the morning when you have one of those days that you're excited, right? We all have them. We all have crappy days. We all have those days we wake up excited about something. It could be traveling. It could be literally anything. Start tying that in. I guarantee your purpose, your mission is very close to that thing that gets you excited. Life is too short not to have fun and not to have some excitement and not to find something that you literally get pumped up about every single day. I'm telling you, it makes life a whole lot easier. It gives you so much more meaning and obviously so much more purpose when you have a defined mission. And even if it's not 100% clear, start with something, write something down, and start taking little action steps to get it even more clear. Like even going back and reading my Fishing for Happiness, my mission is slightly tweaked since then, but I had to start somewhere, and I put it out there for the world to see 4 years ago. And now it's still pretty close, but some slight little tweaks. And here I am, still just taking little small actions every single day to find more fulfillment in life. I'm telling you, when the bad times happen, and they will, we all go through stuff, loss of loved ones, cancer, anxiety attacks, whatever it is. I've been through all of those things in my life. There are tough times. When you have that purpose, when you have that thing that you wake up excited for, and you're making an impact, even if it's with just two people, It doesn't have to be something you're reaching 1 million people or billions of people. There's not that many people you're probably going to impact, but it can literally be just 2 people. It could be 1 person. Maybe your whole reason you're here on this earth is to impact 1 person is going to go impact millions or the billions. Just that 1 person, there's something here that's special about you that you were put on this earth. And I'm telling you, when you find it, life gets so much better. And don't stop digging for it. Don't just think that, oh, I don't have a purpose. You do. Once again, we got to go back to where we started. God does not make mistakes. He did not make a mistake with you. You were here for a higher purpose, and God made you perfectly for this specific time for a very specific purpose. Guys, I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions or thoughts or other ideas or things that have made it easy for you to find your purpose or things that you're struggling with on finding your purpose and your mission. Shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. I want to continue doing more podcasts on this topic. It's so important. And I believe it's a big reason so many people feel empty and depressed and hopeless inside. It's probably a big reason why, so many kids and adults, even commit suicide, as they feel like I don't have a purpose in this world. I mean, that's what so many people say when they're going through tough times and even contemplating taking their life. It's because they feel like their life doesn't matter. And your life absolutely 100% does. And when you discover what that is, even if it's something incredibly small in terms of, impacting billions of people, if it's just 1 person, that is the drive that you need to keep going, to do big things, to make a massive impact, and to live a happy and fulfilled life. My email is Joe, Joe, at saltstrong.com. That's Joe at saltstrong.com. It's confidential. It's my private email. No one else sees it. And I do promise to read everyone. I try to get back to everyone. Sometimes I miss them, but I do try to get back with everyone. So please bear with me if it takes a while to return your email. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I'll talk to you on the next episode.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was